Okay, so now that you have done all the parts of your science project and you have everything written down in your packet, how are you going to make your simple report? Okay, well, Mickey doesn't have a packet because he put his all on a PowerPoint for you, but he still needs to turn in a simple report. So all he did, I did, was take the information that he's got and put it into the simple report. So you can see here purpose he's got. So I opened up the simple report template and just moved all of the information into this document. So I put his creative title, plant projection, and then his scientific title, the effect of liquid type on plant growth. Now, we are not going to put question and purpose on our board, so I made some titles here to help me remember what I need. So I need purpose, hypothesis, variables, materials, procedure, data, results, graph, and conclusion. So now that I've got my simple report, I've moved all of the information over. Let's just have a quick glance through it. Question, purpose, hypothesis. Even if it's not on your board, it still may need to be in your report. Here are the variables. You don't need to include the EDD, the experimental design diagram. That was just for you to plan your project, but you will put the information here in your report. Then I've got my list of materials and then my procedure. See how everything is nice and lined up. What you're going to want to do, which I didn't notice when I moved my information over, when you are typing, make sure that your sentences are starting with capital letters. Okay. And I'll go back through before I print my report to make sure that everything is correct. Here's my observations. Now remember, with your observations, that is qualitative data. That's when you're using adjectives, different words to describe what you see. Excuse me. So at the end of the day, nothing seems to have changed. Again, make sure you're capitalizing. My plants are doing great. At the end of day 3, the plants are given orange juice and are starting to turn a funny color. Okay, adjective. And the milk plants are wrinkling a little on the leaves. Again, descriptive words. 2 of my milk plants are weeping over. One of my orange juice plants looks dead. How are you describing them? What is your qualitative data? Then you have your data and results. This is where you use the quantitative data, your numbers data, to give a summary of what happened during your experiment. So if you read further down, you can see the results showed the plants that were given water grew the tallest. That's fine. Average height, we're going to give a specific number, 24 centimeters. Okay. Tallest height of the milk plant, 12 centimeters. Orange juice plant, 9 centimeters. So you can see that the exact number data is there, and that is what your quantitative data is. Okay, so then you've got your graph table, or excuse me, your data table, apologize, and your graph. Okay, so here's where you're just listing all your results from your experiments, and then you're putting them into a graph. You should have both of these on your project board. And then your conclusion here is a summary of everything that happened. You're going to restate your question, explain how you did your experiment, and then what your results were. And then you're going to talk about anything that was unexpected, and then maybe what you would do in the future if you were going to do this project again. So you can use the rerun method for your conclusion that is specified more in your signs packet. Okay, so now how do I get this information onto my board? Clearly, this is in a more formal font. This is Times New Roman in a 12 font. So if you copy and paste this or just print out your project and cut it up, it's going to be way too small for your board. So what you're going to want to do is open a new document. I find this is much easier than trying to print everything up again. A new document, and because it's going on your board, you probably want to go ahead and change the orientation to landscape. And just to be sure I have enough room, I'm going to go ahead and change the margins so that they are a bit thinner. I'm going to do the narrow. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my report and I'm going to cut. Now we're not putting question on our board. We are just putting purpose. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste. We still are putting question, we're just not having its own section. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and copy and paste the procedure. So you can do select all the words you want to do, and then you can right click and choose copy, or you can do Control C. And then you're going to go to your blank document and you can either press Control V or right click and paste. Now again, these words are still too small for our board. The spacing for your report is double spaced, but on your board you probably don't want it that way. So you can highlight and then come over here to paragraph, click to choose your paragraph settings and choose from double to, down to single or 1.5. So let's look. That's pretty tight. I might want to make it look a little better. We don't want it so crowded. Maybe do 1.5 lines. Okay. And of course we want to increase our font. So without it being too crazy, 26 or 28 looks like it's a pretty good font. You'll have to see what matches your board. Again, you don't want it this big, right? You want to get people's attention, but you also want them to be focused on the most important parts and have room on your board. So depending on what you've got, determine how much space. So here's for my purpose. Now I'm going to put my question just below my purpose. So I'm going to go back and cut and paste, or excuse me, you don't want to cut, you don't want to take it out of your report, just copy and paste your question so that that's on the board as well. And then you can paste it. And again, you want this to go along with your font up here. So whatever font you did here, you did 26. I did 26, so I'm going to make this a 26. And I'll back it up just a little so it still becomes part, well, let's do that. So it's still part of my purpose. Okay, you could even bold it if you'd like to do that, just so it sticks out a little more. I think that might look good. Now, some information you can probably fit more of that on to a page than we are here. I really don't think I have room to put my hypothesis on here without it going off the page. I could try to do that. Let me see. I'm going to undo the bold because we don't need that in the bold, and open up my simple report, and I'm going to copy and then paste my hypothesis. And again, font looks like it's about 26. And remember, we want to undo it from double spacing to single or 1.5 spacing. 26. Well, that actually fits on the page pretty good. That's fine. All right, so then you're just going to continue doing this, copying, pasting right along. Notice I'm not putting the headers above each one because I know what it is. If you want to have more space to cut, you may want to go ahead and do that. And then all I'm going to do after I print these is I'm going to just cut a nice line. Maybe, let's see if I can draw a little line to kind of show you. All right, I might cut like, okay, clearly Mrs. Mellon can't draw a straight line with her mouse, but pretend I'm going to cut my paper about here. And so then the top part, which is here, is going to be where I apologize. I'm starting to dig into some stuff that I don't really know how to use. Okay, so this part right here, this is going to go under your header of purpose. And then this part down here is going to go under your header of hypothesis. And then you just can continue to do that and print out. So I'm going to continue on this process, and then I will show you, I will take a picture and show you how to, how I put all these things on my board. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you.